You know, one of the interesting things about the border wall is that there are many issues in this world. We are in the verge of a major conflict between countries, and we are in a situation where the United States is the world leader, and at the same time I don't think we have the right leadership at this point. I don't have to convince people, that's only my opinion. But I think the present administration lacks coherence, lacks an understanding of the different categories of issues and problems and opportunities that we have as a country. And for someone like the present president to think about building a wall between two friendly nations that have helped each other since 1848, the end of the U.S.-Mexico War, and to think about physically building a wall between these two countries is, in my opinion, a very uneducated decision to make. And I don't think the wall, physical wall, is the issue as much as I think that there is a considerable amount of racism and dislike for ethnics or Mexican or Mexican Americans or Latinos. And the way I see the wall is that it is a kind of like a disguise or a front to address a real issue, and I mean the true issue, which is the issue of ethnicity.
Good morning. I'm standing in Nuevo Laredo, Mexico. Our cameraman is on the U.S. side in Laredo, Texas. And in between us, as you can see, is the Rio Grande, a natural barrier that can deter border crossers. But it could also make building a wall here very difficult. Walling off the Rio Grande would require building on its floodplain. Right now, the river is running about 20 to 30 feet above normal.
We have parks that border the river area. We have a water plant that also borders the river area.
Laredo Mayor Pete Saenz met with then-candidate Trump when he visited the city in 2015. On Wednesday, Saenz said erecting a wall around Laredo was, quote, offensive.
It serves as a negative psychological impact on people that visit our city. Can you imagine having a city with a huge wall there? It's not very inviting. It's very divisive.
The nearly 2,000-mile-long southern border is already protected by almost 700 miles of fencing. It cost more than $2 billion to build. For vast stretches, it is an imposing metal barrier, but other sections do little to stop people. And where it abruptly ends, it's easy enough to step around it. The president wants to replace that hodgepodge fencing with a concrete wall spanning virtually the entire border. Mr. Trump has said his plan will cost $8 to $12 billion. Analysts peg the figure at $15 to $40 billion. Critics say that money is better spent on more technology, equipment, and manpower.
If you build a higher wall, somebody will build a higher ladder. What you need on the border in order to ensure security is more Border Patrol agents.
Parts of the wall would have to be built on private property or on very harsh terrain. A solid barrier would also make it difficult to see border crossers on the other side. Even Trump's new Homeland Security Secretary, General John Kelly, says a wall alone would not do the job.
If you were to build a wall from the Pacific to the Gulf of Mexico, You'd still have to back that wall up with patrolling by human beings, by sensors, by observation devices.
President Trump has also pledged to hire 5,000 additional border agents pending congressional funding. As for the proposed wall, the mayor of Laredo believes it sends the wrong message about trade with Mexico, which is vital for border communities like his. Laredo, he says, does more than $200 billion worth of trade with people on this side of the border.
Issue is a symbol more than the physical barrier. It is a symbol of complete dislike of one side to the other. It is, in my opinion, it is a hate wall. It is not a border wall. Look at it closely. Look at it realistically. Undocumented migration has declined. We don't need a physical border, a wall. Make it iron, make it the China wall, as you and I have looked into that kind of. What you have to look at is the image all around the world that the American way of life and traditions and values and culture of this country are being diminished by the stubbornness of one person with his followers to say, if we keep the Mexican and Latino undocumented workers, it will solve all our economic problems, it will solve all our unemployment problems, and we will have a better America if we build a wall. That is simply not true. It is not true.